Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Laststandgamers, and welcome back. Now this time, we are back with another server tour. We're taking a look around MAD ARRON. MAD ARRON is our version of a Mad Max style Wasteland server, where players have no jetpacks, no thrusters, and it causes them to build some very interesting rover craft, and also decides on some nice rover combat as well. So it's a little bit different from the norm. So the first base we're taking a look at is Shipyards. So XT Shipyards are usually at the bottom of the list, so I thought I would come here first. And as you can see, they have decided to build up on the top of a hill, and they've got some rovers, some sort of little brawler rovers. These look like they've had a little bit of battle damage down here. So what's interesting about this is we've disabled the AI on all the turrets except interior turrets, so all the turrets that are on it have to be manually controlled by the players, and this just stops a little bit of weapon spam completely annihilating the wheels. We've also beefed the bigger wheels up a little bit so they can take a bit more damage, so it makes rover combat a little bit more sustainable and exciting. So as we come up through here, you can see we've got some rotor turrets up here, so hinges and turrets, cannons, and what looks to be Gatling guns on that turret, the same on the other side. And then up the shaft, you can see we've got this little staircase. It leads to this large glass room. A little bit of music playing in here for ambience. Still a lot to be done in here. We've got cargo production over that side. And then onto the roof, it looks like we've got a printing system with a little bit of a kink in it there at the top. We'll have to have a look at the weight of that after the video. So there is the XTS base. So just over a week they've had to build these constructions. So next up we have RAB that we want to head to. We want to head to RAB because they've got the second largest base. We'll go back up through the list shortly, so don't worry, we're not missing all these. So over to RAB, we'll let it load. It's looking a little bit dustier. You might have seen a glance at the RAB base as we come over here from one of our previous introductory videos, but they have got plenty of stuff. They are a very well-oiled machine at this point on the LSG server. They know how to build up fast, they know how to work together, and usually they have players on around the clock doing different jobs around the base. So as we come in here, you can see the sun is actually rising in the background over there. Let's let the game catch up with all these objects being loaded in at once. So the sun is loading up there, and they've got this cool sort of gargoyle bat structure on the top here. It is absolutely beautiful, and more importantly, it's really menacing as players come and approach this base. So coming around the side here, we've got these little dockyards with these little bits of lighting. This particular dockyard, I believe, is a printer on a hinge, so you can print a larger area. Very cool. Look at these very industrial looking panels, complete with walkways because of no jetpacks. Around the side they've got these little solar sort of wind farms, a little compound for some smaller rovers, and possibly a smaller printer in there as well. You can see that some of the printers or the welders are ground down and some are welded up so that they do not break the welder limits. Coming over on this side, you can see some of the larger RAB rovers. What's quite nice about these is they've got these little pads on the floor, and this one's also got the drill system in the floor of that one. We've got some of these over here. These have got their axles nicely spread out. A few of these little spaces on the floor here. This just stops when a rover takes a giant leap of faith off a cliff and slams into the ground. They stop the bottom from being carved out of it. Very cool. We've got another RAB rover here. This one looks like a little bit of a larger 4x4, or 8x8 should I say. Coming around the side here, we've got weapons behind these locked doors. What have we got in here? Missile launchers, the classic of the MAD ARRON server. Missile launchers always do a lot of damage to rovers as they rove around. And we've got a cockpit, and up on top we've got a little turret there, complete with a missile launcher on top of there. Very, very cool indeed. Let's head into the base structure. So we've got the main door here at the front. We've got some battlements around the top with solar panels, and as we come inside here, you'll see we are greeted with the main RAB hangar. Isn't this a really cool place? Lots of ambience going on here, but I'm going to turn the lights on so you can see a little bit better. We've got ourselves a land raider with a turret by the look of it. Then we've got various small attack rovers down the side here. Some 4-wheel, some 2-wheel variants, and some interesting looking tank variants. Very 40k-esque. We've seen some 40k vehicles and aircraft from RAB before. Very, very cool. Coming over to this side of the hangar, we've got some more troops. This one definitely looks like a 40k, some sort of Imperial Guard troop transport vehicle. I'm sure I've seen that before. And we've got another larger one with interior by the look of it. Let's have a look at this lovely RAB interior. So we've got a little cryopod at the back, cockpit at the front there, rifle racks all over the place, always great for respawning, and another troop transport here. Now I believe we've seen this one in MAD ARRON before. Cryopod, weapons, things to grab, cockpits there, very cool, and a burger? A Gatling gun on a burger, that's a new one, I've not seen that. Coming over here we have ourselves another Land Raider. I believe this is more of a traditional Land Raider. So is that one a Land Raider and that one... Oh, I forgot the name of it from 40k. It does look like a Land Raider with a turret though. Very, very cool. Let's head upstairs. So they've got these little glass orb lights. I don't know if they're going to cage some AI up in there later on. Terrence level 1. And then head on up one more floor. What's going on here? So we've got cargo and production up here. That's an interesting place to store it. And then up even higher, we've got more cargo production. And then up into the control tower at the top. So very, very cool base RAB there. And completed in an amazing amount of time. You guys have really worked really hard and all around the clock. Maybe a little bit too much. Maybe have a break, you know, take a nap for 10 minutes. Right, let's continue on. So on our list now, we have DGG? There we go. Or is it GDE? We've got a few G factions. Okay, so these are the captured ones. There we go. So we've got the GDE Desert Compound. This is what we're looking for by Squawk. So I saw this taking shape the other day. We've got a really simplistic plunge miner. The most simple you can get with just a straight up piston. We've got this elephant tank that's taking shape. This is going to be very interesting. It's like a forward looking turret. It'll be interesting how well that can actually traverse. And then we've got this desert sand base. It's got these tanks and these small Humvee-like rovers on the inside, and this cool little APC in here as well. Very cool. Looks like there's a little maintenance platform and welding craft there. So you've got to just keep remembering that there is no jetpacks in this, so players have got to figure out ways how they can weld up these walls, how they can get access to these different areas. So it does make for some quite interesting gameplay, and they've got this turret up here as well with a larger artillery cannons. Very, very interesting indeed. Let's have a quick plunge down into one of these bunkers and see what's going on in here. So is this just like a production or a hangout area? It looks like something maybe for printing is down here. GD's first session on LSG. So they've got a little bit of a museum piece in there. Very, very cool. So from GDE, we are going to GDI. So GDI, let's go and have a quick look. I feel like we've just been to the GDI base. We may have just been to the GDI base. I might have got confused. No, it's GDE, wasn't it? Aaron, pay attention. What are you doing? Yeah, here we are. So over at GDI. So what GDI working on? Is that another 40k build here? We got some 40k inspiration going on here. Maybe it's not. It looks a little bit like a Land Raider, that, doesn't it? So this is the GDI base. And you can see with this one, they've got this outer battlement that is taking shape. And they've got this giant ramp that they're attempting to build. This is going to be using up a lot of their resources. That's one of the problems with building up here. Yes, it does save you from attack from larger rovers. It makes you less of a target. But then you've got to get everything up here and get everything down here. And if you fall off and fall apart, then it's not really that good. So down here, it looks like they've got one of the drill crafts connected up. Then they've got this sort of entrance way leading on into this area. And it looks like we've got either a hangar or a production sort of building. It looks like a little bit of a hangar here at the moment. Very interesting indeed. We've got a larger rover over there. Still a lot of these look like they're under construction. Yeah, it looks like they're still building these out, fleshing out this fleet of vehicles. Very, very cool. Very chunky looking rovers. I like the look at these. And you can see they've got all these little access ways on here as well, because there is no jetpacks. So it means that they have to be able to access each area of the ship, especially when they're on the move and their other crew members are driving. So it really makes for some challenging building. Okay, so NBS. Now, NBS never disappoint either. Let's go and see what Nightser and crew are up to. So as we fly over here, it looks like we've reached the dark side of the planet. Bring ourselves up there, let everything load in as quickly as we can. So I did see some of the MBS rovers cruising around the other day. I believe I saw that one with the purple, and there was one of these little bunker ones moving around. So it looks like MBS are attempting to get some sort of wall up, and you'll be surprised how effective these walls are. These can stop a lot of the small rovers from even getting close to your base. But the other issue is when you build close to a mountain like this, it does open you up to attack from behind, especially if the mountain is sloped like that. You could get someone up on the hill preying on you from behind. It looks like they've got a cool turret here. This is a little bit of like an orchestra design, a bit orky colours. A nice tower there, some connection points, a little bit of a damaged welding vehicle, some smaller vehicles in here. There's some sort of printing system in here. It looks like a gantry crane, so maybe it cranes the vehicle out. We've got one of the large battle rovers over here, and what I'm guessing is going to be some sort of production over on the inside here, or storage. Yeah, so heavily reinforced, that's what you need. Especially when you can't build underground. Very, very cool. Some really nice looking rovers there. Let's have a look at this one. So this one's got the little welders between the wheels here to keep the wheels online even longer. Something that takes a little bit of extra setup and preparation, but when you nail that, it keeps you in the fight so much longer. And once your wheels go out or your weapons go out in a battle with these rovers, it is pretty much game over for you. So let's continue on. So from NBS, we are going to DBS. So usually DBS and Dash work together, but I've not seen Dash at the moment, so I'm guessing they might be working under the DBS banner for this one. We'll have to have a look what players are involved in this one. So we've got Arid, yes, usually a Dash member, but this time under the DBS flag. So let's see what they have been up to. I saw a lot of early game activity with this miner, and we also had a little bit of an introductory skirmish with Arid as well. But this is a really cool base. This is a sort of a hilltop integrated in. You can see how tall this mountain is. There's only so many ways up that actual rovers can do. You can see that it's like one of these slightly sloped ramp approaches. It just makes it a challenge to assault. A lot of rovers lose the momentum by the time they get to the top of here. So this is, in my opinion, maybe a little bit better than having like a steep ridge cliff. So you can see some of these rovers here. We've got spare wheels on the back there. As many turrets as possible facing forward. We've got some artillery cannons in the front there. Coming over this side, it looks like one rover was halfway being pulled out, or just finished being pulled out of this production. Or this printer, sorry. Very cool indeed. And then underneath here, it looks like we've got the miner production. Look at this cool little storage room. Got some little cockpits. The new refinery modules, doors. Oh, like a little airlock that enters into there. So a really nice simple base from DBS there, and as per usual it's been prioritized into production, and a lot of players really like to see these over sort of production bases where they're designed to print out and build as much as possible, and this is a good example of it. And you can see also that the LCDs here have been used to keep their block count down. They do, I believe, put your PCU up, but block count is lowered by using them because they take up a larger tile. You just have to be careful because they do drop your frame rate when you get close. Okay, so let's move on. From DBS, we have got G's. So I will let you on a little secret as we look for G's base. Now, G usually lasts all of about half a season. Sometimes it makes it to the end. Sometimes they make it to the end, but usually we find G's stuff in various stages of construction. So what have we got going on here? We have a mortal engine. Maybe you're on the wrong server here, G. But you know, still cool. I don't think we aren't running the mortal engine server at the moment because we need to reconfigure the AI and sort some bits out for it. But look at this place. This thing is absolutely massive. It's that massive that it's got a rear dock here with 2 tanks sitting inside it. This is a beautiful creation, G. Look at these little houses, these smokestacks, these living areas, and it all wraps around into different areas. You've really got to have quite a creative mind to work out how you're going to lay a place out like this. There's even a plunge miner down the center of the core, so it can extract out on the go. Very, very beautiful indeed. It really does look like a nice mortal engine. We've got some lights there up on the front. I bet that looks crazy as hell when it's coming towards you. I don't know how defensive it would be. Maybe it could do with a few more turrets, but I guess with the size of this, you're kind of pushing the limits of the turrets to kind of cover all your sectors. I really, really do like the look of that one. Let's have a quick look over here. Is there anything to have a look at, or is this just production or temporary base building? So it looks like a temporary printer, miner, and some other bits. Keep up the work, G. I'd really like to see this in some combat, so let me know if you're going to use it. Let's continue on. Okay, so from G, where do we go to next? We are going to go to Mop and visit our friend Ruffletron. So what have Mop been up to? What is Ruffletron building this time? I could only imagine some sort of madness or craziness going on here, but it's looking quite standard for a Ruffletron base, this one. I'm a bit surprised. So it looks like we've got a wall taking construction up here to prevent some of the small rovers going in. We've got some parking bays over here. We've got a miner with some of some classic Ruffletron humour aboard it, and a little poster there. We've got the drill down in that section. Very cool indeed. I'm guessing that's going to be production. That's a printer in there. And originally I thought these opened up, but I just think these are blast doors to protect production and storage. 2 small rovers down in that area. And then we have the Drunken Dragon that I'm only guessing is the start of some sort of mad bar that's taking shape in here. There's also like a little engine room that's taking shape. You can kind of see a rear generator yard on the back there that Ruffletron's halfway through construction. We'll have to come back to this one when it's a bit more finished. I'm excited to see what you do with it, Ruffle. Let's continue on though. Okay, so from Ruffletron, we are heading to OCM. OCM, let's have a look. So OCM, Ant Miner, Ant Queen. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so I remember when we first had a look at this base, we sent a few zombies in at this player, and they ended up locking themselves out of the base when they shut the door. But they've come on quite well. This is a solo, I believe, completely solo. So you can see that they've tried to use this rover for multiple tests, such as welding, possibly plunge mining, drilling with that attachment. You can see that there's a production hydrogen silo at the side there. They've got the main base silo with production in here. A few of their rovers. These look like these little toy cars. And then the production's there. Looks like semi-printed. And then this printer wall has taken shape. Lots of players trying different methods to print as large as possible. You'll have to let me know which one you've seen that you think's the best. So this one looks like it's a piston on the side and it prints across like almost like a traditional printer or scanner that would print paper. So we'd have to see if that's effective. I guess it's going to have to go quite slow, and also whoever's pulling out is going to have to make sure that they're pulling it out at the right speed so parts ain't missed. But that could be said with all printers. So let's move on. So we're heading to RSA. Let's see what RSA have got to us. So Orange Leader. There is some really cool rovers on this place. The only thing I've noticed about it is the larger rover seems to be dropping sim speed, and you might notice this in the footage here as we come over to this area and everything starts to load in. There's just a lot going on, and Space Engine is trying its best to handle it. So first off, we've got this really cool scrap wall. I really like how the players who have built this have took the time to use the different parts, different textures, different colours to make it look like it's rusted away, and also layered the armour so it's not just one flat wall. It really feels like it's been cobbled together out of pieces of scrap. Look how beautiful that wall looks. Really nice work there, RSA. And then inside here we have some rovers. The majority of the wheels have now been lifted, so great work on that. So you can see these have got cannons, missile turrets and artillery. They've also got a little turret pod on the top here. We'll have to see how functional that is. And then they've got the gyroscopes on the back there, like a little bit of a train pickup truck combo. Over here is the RSA transport grid, so I'm guessing smaller rovers will be docked in here at some time on these little docking parts. And as we come around the side here, you can see that it looks like there's more docks on the side. Yeah, this is almost like a morsel engine, a bit like G's. So this will be interesting to see how it works when it's finished and how much performance it'll drop. These large rovers with lots of weight on the ground can sometimes phase, so it can be dangerous building a rover of that size, but we'll see what happens when it gets roaming about. We've got some small rovers over here for some light attack and defense, always important. If you do remember this base, this was the base where we drove over the side with the explosion truck, and they managed to knock us off just in time. And now that this wall's up, there isn't no truck getting in here. Coming up to the top, they've got a little bit of a temple, or maybe the main hub of their production. It sounds like production by the sound of it. Yeah, main production, probably cargo resource, out of the way, stop it from being vulnerable to attack. So really, really cool base there. Now, let's continue on. So we've got 3 less left, so let's go to SBD, I believe. There we go. SBD, SYN. Let's see what SBD have got. Now, I'm not too sure if this is a solo or just a couple of players. I've not seen too much activity when I've been roaming around in these early hours of the morning to get this recorded, but there's some really beautiful little green troop transports here. These are complete with a little access door, double access door actually, in fact, extra protection, and survival kit on the inside. Let me just try and get out of here. Everything's loading in and lagging me up. There we go. And then coming over here, we've got these larger green rovers. This one's got a little bit of a Gatling gun turret at the top here that could be quite effective at chasing down an opponent if need be. And then over here, we've got ourselves a plunge miner, but this is more like, it reminds me of like a wiggly worm thing, or, you know, it's like one of them little dogs, the slinky dogs, the way it's been laid out on the top like that, but I'm sure it works just as effectively. And then over on this side, we've got another, I'm guessing, transport rover. I'm not seeing any weapons on this. Could be a cargo rover. Oh no, it's a printing rover. There's a printing head on the top here. So yeah, that's just an example of what a solo base could possibly look like. I'm pretty sure it's a solo. There's only one cryopod in there, so quite a lot built for a solo, so well done. Let's continue on. So we are heading to is it FFJ? Or has Aaron written down this? Ah, there we go. FFJ New Home. So Queen Alice, let's have a look what's going on here. Now, this is another solo player. I wanted to show you this because it's a really cool little transport rover that we've got going on here. Still a lot to be done probably with this base and outpost. You can see we've got them tyres down the side. We've got some logos going on here. We've got access into the inner workings, catwalks, hallways. It's a beautiful little creation. Control panels. Let's get ourselves out of the inner guts. Have we got anything to keep these wheels alive? Like, have we got any printers going on the side here or anything? No, we don't. But still a very, very cool design. That's probably been someone's pride and joy of creation, or Alice's pride and joy of creation. Oh, what's this on the top? Oh, we've got a little grinder attachment. So I'm guessing this could roam around and grind down some of the structures that randomly spawn in. Very, very cool. I'd like to see this in action. Looks like there's a smaller little welder there, so that may be a floor welder, a sort of grader of crafts. So continuing on, we have XTS. We've seen XTS, so that means we've completed our tour. Everything else in here, there's a mixture of old grids, new grids, things that we've just stuck in. And if we have a look at the ML bits here, so these are owned by the Arronator. That's a bit of a joke. These are the grids that randomly spawn in. So these random grids that spawn around have loot, things for the players to have a look at, and sometimes they'll also have some robots for the players to fight in as well. So we've covered the server completely. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Let me know which was your favourite creation, or more importantly, do you think you could survive without a jetpack?